Eren Yeager said the word freedom more than any character in modern anime. He screamed it. He killed for it. He flattened most of the world in its name. And he was the least free person in his entire story. Thorfinn barely talks about freedom at all. He talks about farming, about building, about a place with no war and no slaves, a place he isn't even sure exists. And he is the freest man in his. 2 boys, the same wound, a parent's violent death witnessed as a childhood swallowed by violence, years lost to a hatred that felt like purpose. One of them walked out of the cycle. The other became its final, most devastating rotation. And the difference between them is not what you think. It isn't that one chose peace and one chose war. It isn't strength or goodness or love. The difference is that one of them saw the future, and the other was free precisely because he couldn't. Strip away the settings, the walls, the fjords, the titans, the longships, and the 2 stories begin almost identically. A boy watches a parent die. Thorfinn watches Thor's, the strongest Viking alive, the man who had already renounced violence, sacrificed in front of him. Eren watches his mother eaten while he is carried away, too small to do anything but scream. In both cases, the loss doesn't just hurt them, it organizes them. Revenge becomes the skeleton their entire self is built around. And notice, even here, the shape of what's coming. Thorfinn's wound stays clean, a thing done to him by a man he can name and hunt. Eren's wound never stays still. Years later, he learns that even his father's death was tangled in his own hands. That the boy who lost everything may have been, in some impossible way, the author, a part of his own loss. Thorfinn's tragedy has a culprit. Eren's tragedy curls back on itself like a snake eating its tail. One wound points outward, the other points everywhere, including backward, including inward. Keep that in mind. It matters later. Thorfinn spends a decade as a killing instrument, following the man who destroyed his family, living for a duel that will justify his existence. Eren spends his youth as a weapon aimed at the enemy beyond the walls, living for an extermination that will avenge his home. Same wound, same fuel, same forward direction toward the target at any cost. If you froze both stories halfway, you could not tell me which boy becomes the pacifist and which becomes the destroyer of the world. That should unsettle you more than it does, because it means the fork in their roads was not built into their characters. It arrived later, and what arrived was not a moral lesson or a mentor or love. What arrived was knowledge for one of them. Here is what actually happened to Eren underneath the plot. When he inherits the full power of his Titan, Eren stops experiencing time the way a human being experiences it. Past, present, and future collapse into a single, simultaneous now. He remembers things that haven't happened yet. He has already seen the ending, his ending, before he chooses it. Think about what that does to the word choice. At first, knowing the future feels like the ultimate power. If you can see what's coming, surely you can change it. That is the near certain intuition every one of us has. Show me the outcome, and I'll fix it. Eren had that intuition too. And then he learned the thing that broke him. Nothing would change. The future he saw was not a warning. It was a memory. It had, in the only sense that mattered, already happened. And the moment he understood that, the moment the outcome became certain, something quietly died in him that no Titan could kill: his freedom. Not because someone took it, because freedom requires an open future. Choice only exists where the page is unwritten. The instant Eren saw the whole book, choosing was over. Everything after that is a man executing a script and calling it his will, because calling it his will was the only dignity he had left. He tells himself he's moving forward. He tells Reiner he was born this way. He tells everyone and himself that this is freedom. The show sells him as a prisoner of freedom, but look closer. He was a slave to fate. The most freedom-obsessed character in anime spent his final years doing the one thing a free person never does: carrying out a future he already knew, unable to want anything else because wanting had become meaningless. And here's the detail that makes it tragedy instead of villainy: what he chose to do with his slavery. He couldn't break the cycle. He had seen that it doesn't break. It repeats, it rotates, it changes hands. So he did the only thing the script left open to him. He bought time, a pause, a single generation of breathing room for the people he loved, purchased with the rest of the world. That's not a free man's plan. That's a slave negotiating the terms of his chains. Now hold Thorfinn against that light. Thorfinn's revenge doesn't end in victory. It ends in nothing. Askeladd dies by another hand, and the purpose that organized Thorfinn's entire self simply evaporates. No closure, no duel, no meaning. He falls into slavery, literal slavery, the external kind, with nothing left inside. And this is where his story does the opposite of Eren's. Eren was given total knowledge. Thorfinn is given total ignorance. He has no idea who he is now. No idea whether a man like him can be anything but a weapon. No idea whether the peace his father spoke of is real or a dead man's fantasy. No idea whether Vinland exists, whether it can be reached, whether it can hold. He knows nothing about his future. And that ignorance, the exact thing Eren lost, is the soil his freedom grows back in. Because Thorfinn gets to do the thing Eren never could again. He gets to choose without knowing, to decide he wants peace with no guarantee peace is possible, to point himself at a direction, a land with no war and no slaves, without a visible path to it, to stake his life on an ideal that might fail. That is what freedom actually is. Not power, not the absence of walls. The unwritten page. And Thorfinn understands something else, the thing that makes his pacifism more than escape. Peace is not the absence of strong men. Peace requires them. It takes more strength to carry an ideal with no guarantee than to swing a sword with one. Every day he chooses not to fight. He is choosing, actively, freely, against his own conditioning, because the future is dark and the choice is live. Eren would have given anything to have that darkness back. Now, here is where I have to be honest with you, because this is the part of the comparison that has been sitting in my chest. It would be easy to end this video the comfortable way. Thorfinn chose well. Eren chose badly. Be like Thorfinn. But I keep asking myself one question, and the more I think about it, the less certain I am. If Thorfinn could see what Eren saw, past, present, and future at once, every path leading to the same ending, the cycle repeating no matter what he built, would he still be a pacifist? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And I don't think you can know either, because the question may not even make sense. Choice is what happens in the dark. Strip a man of an open future, and you can't ask what he would choose, because choosing is the thing that's gone. Maybe that's the most disturbing thing this comparison reveals. Not that Eren was weaker or worse than Thorfinn, but that Thorfinn's freedom, the thing we admire him for, stands on ground he didn't build and doesn't control, on not knowing, on the darkness ahead of him. And there's one more turn to this, and it's the one that points at you. Because you and I say we want certainty, we want to know how it turns out, the career, the relationship, the channel, the life. We treat the unknown future as the enemy, the thing anxiety feeds on, the thing we'd eliminate if we could. Eren is what elimination costs. The unknown future isn't what's standing between you and freedom. It's the only place freedom has ever existed. Two boys, the same wound. One was handed certainty, and it took everything, not his life first, but his ability to want, to choose, to be the author of a single day. He spent his last years calling his chains freedom because the alternative was admitting what he'd become, a slave to fate wearing freedom's name. The other was handed nothing, no closure, no answers, no guarantee. And in that nothing, in the unwritten dark ahead of him, he found the only real freedom either story contains, a direction without a path, an ideal with no proof, a choice that stays a choice because no one, including him, knows how it ends. I don't know if Thorfinn survives Eren's knowledge with his peace intact. I don't know if anyone could, but I know which of them I'd rather be. Not the man who saw everything, the man who walked into the dark and called it his path anyway. Build quietly. Walk your path.